Hi dear students, in this lecture we are going to learn one more critical term, paradox, from unit number 1 of literary criticism. So let's first try to understand the definition and meaning of the term paradox. So what does it mean by paradox? Paradox is a statement that appears to be self-contradictory or silly, but which may include a latent truth or deep truth. It is a literary device used to illustrate an opinion or statement contrary to accepted traditional ideas. A paradox is often used to make a reader think over an idea in innovative way. Innovative means new way. So paradox means विरोधाभासायुक्त विधान in Marathi. So paradox is a statement or a vidhan. You may say vidhan. Statement means in which the writer uses self-contradictory ideas, opposite ideas. Self-contradictory means opposing each other or opposite ideas, opposite to each other, and it seems to be silly and funny sometimes, but when we try to understand or go into deep to make the sense, we can find there is a hidden truth or there is a truth hidden in that particular statement or in paradox. It is a very important literary device used by the writer to illustrate a statement or opinion or idea contrary to accepted traditional ideas. Means what is accepted by all or society, and if the writer wants to oppose that particular accepted truth or idea, the writer uses paradox to make clear how it is not true or how that particular traditional idea is not true. So paradox is used to make the readers think in different way, in another way, or in innovative way. Then we shall try to understand paradox with the examples or with some examples in everyday life. In our everyday life also, when we talk with each other, we use paradox in our speech. For example, nobody goes to Murphy's bar anymore. It's too crowded. If the bar is crowded, then lots of people are going there, because if some place is crowded, then many people are gathered there. That's why the place becomes crowded. But if so many people are going there, then it makes no sense to say nobody goes. Because if it is crowded, the place is crowded, then it is false to say that nobody is going there. Because many people are going there and so it is crowded. So here we find that self-contradictory ideas are used in this statement. If we try to understand the meaning, or the person who speaks this sentence perhaps wants to tell us that the place is crowded, but maybe his friends are not going there these days. So that may be the meaning hidden in this statement, but apparently it seems to be very silly. Now, another example is, this is the beginning of the end. Now, beginning and end are totally opposite. They cannot come together. How can be there the beginning of the end or end of the beginning? So These two opposite ideas, beginning and end, are brought together by using paradox. So it seems to be very silly. If we try to understand the meaning, sometimes we do not get the meaning at all in the sentence. Don't go near the water until you learn how to swim. Now it's also a very silly idea, because if someone wants to learn swimming, he or she has to go into the water to learn swimming. Without going into the water, no one can learn swimming. But it is here said that don't go near water until you learn how to swim. So this is also, we can find that how two ideas, opposite ideas, are brought together to make it ridiculous or funny. Your enemy's friend is your enemy. Again, you can find the very funny statement here. Enemy's friend and enemy, two opposite things are brought together. I am nobody. In this example, I am nobody. How can one say that if I am somebody? It is always I'm somebody. But if I'm somebody, how can I say that I'm nobody? There is no meaning when I say I'm nobody. It does not have any meaning. And so sometimes the statements in which paradox is used, they seem to be meaningless or silly. Truth is honey, which is bitter. In this statement, honey and bitter means if truth is honey, truth is sweet, honey is sweet. Now, how can it bitter? If the or any sweet thing, how can it be bitter? Bitter means kadu. If something is sweet, how can it be bitter? So truth. At the same time, truth is sweet as well as bitter. So these two opposite ideas are brought together in this statement. Thus, we can find that paradox creates a humorous effect on the readers because of ridiculousness. Now we will try to understand paradox in literature. How it is used in literature and why it is used. What is the purpose of using paradox in literature? In literature, use of paradox is not just making fun or uh, making comic effect. It has some deep meaning or some serious purpose or implications. Uh, in the first example, which is taken from Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a novel, a famous novel by George Orwell. The writer says, all animals are equal. Writer means a character in that novel says, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Now, if all are equal, then how is it possible that some are less equal and some are more equal? So it does not make any sense. But if we try to understand the meaning of this statement, though apparently it seems to be very meaningless statement or a statement making no sense, if we try to go deep to try and find the meaning hidden in this or truth hidden in this statement, there is a political truth hidden in this statement. So Orwell points out a political truth by using paradox. The government in this novel claims that everyone is equal. Means in the constitution it is said, or the law of the society is that all people are equal. But it has never treated everyone equally. Though it is mentioned that all are equal, as we say in our country's constitution also, all are equal, but we find that people are not treated equally at all. So this is the irony. This political irony the writer wants to bring to our notice by using paradox. Here paradox is used to illuminate the hypocrisy, political hypocrisy inherent in ruling systems. So writer wants to tell us that how the government or the political people are hypocrite. They just say that all are equal, but they do not give equal treatment to all. In another example, which is taken from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, the earth that's nature's mother is her tomb. What is her bearing grave? That is rainbow in her womb. The earth, that's nature's mother. So in this line, the poet says that earth is nature's mother. Nature means nisarga. Earth is nature's mother. This earth gives birth to nature. This earth is birthplace of nature. Mother is her tomb. And it is also the tomb of nature. Means where nature takes birth as well as nature dies. What is her bearing grave? Grave means again, the place where someone is buried after death. That is rainbow in her womb. Again, the same idea is mentioned in the next line. That is rainbow in her womb means nature takes birth from the womb. Womb means W-O-M-B, womb means garbhashay. From where someone takes birth. So the contradictory ideas of the earth being the birthplace and graveyard for nature makes these lines paradoxical. So in this statement, earth is called as nature's birthplace as well as death place. This is called as paradox. Means two opposite ideas used in the same statement, making something very clear or making some ironical truth, or to bring out some irony by using paradox. From another example, it is taken from My Heart Leaps Up, a poem written by William Wordsworth. A very famous line from this poem is, "The child is father of the man." Now, apparently, when we read this line, it makes us laugh. How can be a child father of a man? When we look deep into the meaning of this statement, we see the truth. The poet says that the childhood of a person shapes his life. Means what a person experiences in his life or in his childhood, those experiences shape his life and fathers or creates the grown-up adult. Means the personality of a person is created from the experiences in his childhood. So what a person experiences in his childhood is very important, because that fathers or that turns him into an adult or grown-up man. And this idea is reflected by using paradox in this line, that is, the child is father of the man. From all these examples used in everyday life as well as examples used in literature, we can find that the function of paradox is to, first function of the paradox is to give pleasure, to create comic effect, and to create interest in readers' minds, and to make them think deeper and harder to enjoy the real message of the literary work. to from the hidden truth in that particular statement, the reader tries to understand the message given in that literary work. Paradox is used to communicate a tone of irony to its readers, as well as lead their thoughts to the immediate if subject. As we have seen in the example of Animal Farm, how the writer uses paradox for irony, or uh, how he wants to tell us that the hypocrisy in politics by using ironical statement. But that irony is used or is created with the help of the paradox, or using opposite ideas in the same statement. In poetry, the use of paradox is not confined to mere wit. Sorry. Uh, in poetry, the use of paradox is not confined to mere wit and pleasure. Rather, it becomes an integral part of poetic diction. So, paradox is a very common literary device used in poetry. It has no function or purpose of wit or pleasure only, to create pleasure only, but or to create interest only, but it is an integral part of poetic diction. Integral means it is mixed, or it is united in the meaning, or with the in the meaning of the poem, in a so intellectually or very cleverly by the poet, that it seems to be the diction of the poem only. It seems to be very natural in poetry. So writers usually make use of paradox to create a remarkable thought or image out of words. So by using paradox, the writer creates a type of image also before our mind, image of the opposite ideas. And by giving that opposite sense, the writer wants to understand what the message given in that particular literary text. So this is the use of the paradox, or the function of paradox in literature. Uh, I think you must have clearly understood the meaning of paradox, and I think you must have understood the examples and how paradox can be used uh, while speaking, as well as while in literature also. Dear students, if you have any doubts, or if you have not understood this term, then you can give your comment, or you can ask me any doubts uh, if you have about this term in the Google Classroom, or in WhatsApp group also. So let's stop here and meet again with another critical term.